Prophet ﷺ gave us a mindset. And again, if you're reading the Quran, especially coming out of Ramadan, I hope that everyone has started their next recitation of the Quran. If you're reading through the Quran, you don't have this type of mindset that we find prevalent amongst the Muslims. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ flipped the paranoia about the Day of Judgment with the urgency of death in two ways. One of them is the hadith of Anas ibn Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He says that once upon a time there was a man who came to the Prophet ﷺ and kept saying, Mata sa'a, mata sa'a, mata sa'a. When is the hour, when is the hour, when is the hour? And the Prophet ﷺ looked around. And Anas radiallahu anhu said he saw a young boy from Banu Shanu'ah, from the land of Shanu'ah. And he pointed to that boy sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And he said alayhi salatu wasalam, In ummira hadha, if this young boy lives long enough, lam yudrikul haramu hatta taquma sa'a. That young boy would not find old age until you have found your day of judgment regardless. Meaning what? Whether or not you see death and destruction in the world around you, you will find death regardless. And that is as unpredictable to you as anything else. You can't predict death. You could have all the analysts in your life that you want, but you're not going to be able to anticipate when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests you with that. And the Prophet ﷺ is saying, instead of sitting there and reading the world, and reading when the end of times is, to the point that you start to make your calculations in your head, make your calculations about death, and about what you have prepared for that meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because your day of judgment is in that grave regardless. And what you will face there is no less severe than what you will face here. And that's why he said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِنَّكُمْ تُفْتَنُونَ فِي قُبُورِكُمْ مِثْلَ أَوْ قَرِيبًا مِنْ فِتْنَةِ الْمَسِيحِ الدَّجَّالِ. That you will be tested in your grave with something similar to the test of a Dajjal. That the test in your grave, the questioning in your grave, the difficulty of being able to answer those questions. Allahumma thabbitna inda su'al. Allahumma ameen. The faith that's required, and this is what I want you to think about deeply. The faith that's required for you to be able to pass through the elements of your grave when you're entered into that grave and it squeezes you, and the hardship of the angels coming to you and the difficulty of that moment, and still being able to process Allah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-Islam, when all of that is happening around you, is just like the faith that is necessary for you if you encounter al-Masih ad-Dajjal in your life, and still being able to see through his tricks and say, Allah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, deen al-Islam. It's the same type of mindset, it's the same type of faith. So whether you're facing a Dajjal here and the elements of a Dajjal here, or you're facing death and the elements in the grave there, focus on nurturing that faith in your heart, and focus on sparing yourself from the fitna, and beware of being a person who causes fitna. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ mentioned to us that when that time comes, even if al-haraj, even if the killing goes about, and even if all of the laws of nature and morality are gone, and the people start to wrong one another, and everyone is wronging the other person, be the one who is mazloom, do not be the one who is zalim. Be the one who's wronged, don't be the one who's wronging. Be the one who is maqtul, be the one who's killed, don't be the one that's killing. If everyone else in the world is killing innocent people, then I want to be from the innocent people being killed. I don't want to be a murderer. If everyone else in the world has normalized dhulm, normalized oppression and aggression, then I want to be amongst those who is wronged and then has my reward in the hereafter. Then be the one who risks potentially throwing himself into hellfire for wronging someone else. Dear brothers and sisters, we need to escape the mindset. Stop thinking so much about what's going to happen then. Think about what could happen to us today, what could happen to us tomorrow. SubhanAllah, every single morning the phone calls come. Every single morning we get the messages about someone that died unexpectedly. A car accident this morning, a young man. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for him and his family. Elderly people, but the diagnosis was spurred, it got quicker. They were first given a year and now they're given 3 months. May Allah Azza wa Jal give them all shifa. May Allah make it easy for their families. Let's prepare ourselves for that. And let's think about the people that are already living the doomsday of this world that we fear would spread around the world around us. Activate ourselves towards that. Our brothers and sisters in Gaza and in the Sudan, and our Uyghur brothers and sisters, wherever they are, they're living that nightmare that everyone fears that will spread to the world around them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be that ummah of one body and nurture in our hearts that faith that is necessary to face the trials of a Dajjal and to face the trials of the grave. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from being deluded by ourselves, or being deluded by the shaitan, or being deluded by our circumstances, or being deluded by our power, or being deluded by our sense of security. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings. Allahumma ameen. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum wa li sa'iril muslimin.